Hello everyone and welcome back to the third episode in this season of Owning Your Own Home in 2025. Whoa, did you watch episode 1? Did you learn anything? Did you watch episode 2? Did you learn anything? Of course you do, because I see your comments and I really appreciate it. I also appreciate the commendations, It really motivates me to go forward, and doing this, as I said before in the previous episode, is not for me, but it's to inspire you and to help you, because if I did it, you can do it too. Yes, if this is your first time to my channel, let me say welcome, welcome, welcome. This is not the normal scheme of things over here. If you are a regular viewer, you know that. But I'm doing this episode just to help those of you who are interested in buying your own home. So if you already have your own home, there are information in this that you can still learn. And of course, the best thing to do is to share this with somebody who you believe that it's time for them own home now, time to pay rent, break the cycle, and I'm doing all that I can to help. If you haven't watched episode 1, I talk about the first step, into buying the house. Last week, which is the second episode, I look at the realtor part of it, looking for the house, the process in finding the actual place that you desire, that you want. And in this episode, we're going to look at the money part, the mortgage part. That is the part that really and truly gave me a few gray hair in the side of my head. So if you see the gray hair them, you know where them come from. The mortgage part is people, one of the roughest part of the process. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just preparing you so that when you reach that part of the process, because I know you're getting there, you know exactly what to expect. All right, so I found the place, I would have made a deposit. A lot of people cannot buy a house because the deposit and the closing costs are too some that they can't come up with. I mentioned it in previous episode that people can pay a mortgage for 150 up to 200 per month, but that initial deposit and the closing costs, which are probably the two biggest upfront costs, because those are costs that are upfront, people can't find it. So I'm encouraging you, and I'm encouraging you at this moment, start saving, start putting away those costs. Start, in last week I spoke about the account that I created for funding my dream. So start saving, because it depends on whatever it is. Your closing costs can be up to 15%, of the mortgage or thereabout, depending on the mortgage provider. The deposit can range 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 10% of the cost for the house. So when you have looked at how much you're interested in buying the house for, say for instance you say want a house for 10 million, just work out 5-10% of that deposit and work out an extent or 15 to be safe, for closing costs. A lot of institutions, they help you with this facility, but you can get ahead of the game by start saving. All right. So for me, I used Jane as my mortgage provider, Jane Bank. They will help you find a way. Jane Bank is my preferred choice for mortgage, and I'm at a little advantage, I believe, because I'm affiliated with Jane Bank. So I thought being an affiliate of Jane Bank would make the process a little bit easier. I mean, there are benefits to be had from using Jane Bank, but a lot of people I know use Jane Bank. So if you're considering getting a mortgage, of course, Jane Bank is one of the leading banks in Jamaica in terms of mortgage, and you would want to get your mortgage from them. They gave my mortgage. So when I realized that I wanted a mortgage, I contacted Jane, and big up Paul Littman at Jane Bank people. And he's one of the most calm, he just made the process easy for me. When I say easy, like I can call him midnight because he works late. And he said to me, Raj, call me anytime you want, ask me any question. And when you buy the house, you want people like those, just like the developer who I could ask 20 questions, the same question 20 times, and he was willing to answer. So it is with Paul Littman at Jane Bank. I could ask him any question. If I don't understand him, break it down. He gave me assurance, like Paul Littman, if you're going to Jane Bank for a loan, ask for Paul Littman. All right, so when I contacted Paul Littman, I got a lot of forms. People, they form them not done yet, so a lot of forms, because what they want to know is that you're able to pay back the mortgage. So they wanted my bank statements in terms of my statement of affairs. They want to know my income, all of my income. They want to know when we get income, all of my expense. And if you have gotten a car loan before, if you have gotten a car loan or any loan before, the process is similar. But because the mortgage is usually a large sum of money, they would want more information from you that will kind of substantiate the oh, let me put this now. They want information from you to make sure that, they know that you're able to pay back the mortgage. So when I fill out all the forms, Paul walked me through everything, fill out the forms, me get this, them one, that, them one, this, them one, that. And the thing about it is information that you have, but it probably takes a little time, to put them together, to fill out the forms. But, if you have been through any loan before, you have to do the forms. And this is the part that really stresses you, because this is where they start to work out all the different fees. And there are some hidden fees. I wouldn't say hidden fees, but there are some fees that you have to pay. That is not a part of the mortgage, like not a part of what you're expecting at the jump. Because I said the house is just 10 million. Use that for an example. You expect that, it's just the loan alone. But you have to look at peril, you have to look at the peril insurance. You have to look at registration of the title. You have to look at other registration fees, other fees associated. And people normally say there are hidden fees, but I don't think there are hidden fees. Once you're going through the process of the mortgage, they're going to ask you for it. They're going to ask you for the information, and they're going to tell you what is expected. That is where you're going to learn about how much is your closing cost. And people, this is a sacrifice that you are making, a real big sacrifice. And I remember how many sacrifices I have to make. And if you are interested in doing or getting a mortgage, you have to make some sacrifice. And I spoke about savings before, and sometimes we have to try not to keep up with the Joneses. If you're watching this and you're a party goer, there are some parties you cannot go to. There are some events that you cannot go. There are some trips that you cannot make. And these are the sacrifices that you have to make. I remember when I found a place in November, in December, there was an event up UWI. People, if you know which event me I talk about, you can just put it in the description. But there was an event up UWI on Boxing Day, and I remember doing a little gig for somebody. I went to help somebody. Somebody was doing an event, and then I just went there to help them. And I told them that I wasn't, I'm not charging them to do the event. I just feel like Christmas, I just give away something. So I decided I was going to help them to do the event. And on the same day of the event up UWI, that thing that we keep on UWI, the 26th Boxing Day, at 26th Boxing Day, yeah. I went to the event before and assisted, and at the end of the event, you know, the coordinator said to me, said, no, Raj, me can't make you leave and not to buy a drink. I know you're not charging, but see a drink here. You know, and the person gave me $10,000. I said, go, let's go buy one drink, man. Go buy ice cream, go buy something. And I said, okay. When we find the house now, you know, yes, when we find the place, me know say it's a different ball game in terms of how I spend, where do I go, all of that. And I started to curtail certain things, And when I got that 10,000, you know, I said, you know what? My credit card at the point in time was must be 90,000. 90,000. I don't know. NCB must probably feel say me because I pay back my credit card on time. NCB probably feel say me have money. So NCB give me a $1 million credit card. But here what? I still get me. I care about get them. Anyways, at the time I think my balance on my card was about 90,000, somewhere there, under 100,000. And a part of the mortgage process, your finances have to clean. So you want to clean up your finances. I'm going to talk about that right after I give the story. And when I get the $10,000 people, me not even say, let me go buy ice cream, because I never feel for the ice cream. I never want ice cream. What I want is money to be in my account, all my accounts to be cleared. So when the mortgage process come in, you know, me alright. So as me get the $10,000, me leave the event, and me go straight to the bank, and me go to NCB, and me go put it on my credit card, and then me say alright, take my receipt, and me fold up my receipt, and me say thank you, God bless it. No, my friend was with me at the time, Oriel, and because he just flew down, and I said, come, we'll go by you at the event, we must get in. And we went up to you, we put on really good stuff, and we go by you. And you know, we you know, I try to see who we know where we can go in. If we want to go in or whatever, we try to see if we can get in without paying. People them never there have it, no matter how famous or popular may be, or you know, or good looking we might be the night, they never there take it. And we stood outside the gate and we contemplated whether or not we were going to pay at the point in time, because we were late for the event to buy the ticket. The ticket at the gate was for $10,000. I said, God, whatever test you test me, because I just got $10,000 and to go into the event was $10,000. Mind you, at that point in time, we could have easily pay $10,000 going there. Me and Oriel could have easily pay $10,000 going there. We could have carry two more somebody with we. We could have go in there, we could have buy whatever drink or whatever we need in there. And you know, because I mean, we had money. You know, but when I remember that me just find one house, I mean, no mortgage I come up, and me want to make sure everything alright. I stood there, and we had to make a decision. And we talk about it, and Ariel said, come to go in. And I said, no, we're not going. Then I said, come, Ariel, we're going. And Ariel said, no. And we stood there. We stood there at the start of the event from about, we stood there from about 10 o'clock in the night. And we contemplated whether or not we're going to go in, and we decided, so we're not going. We need a house we are work on, and we're not going to go in. And we stood there, and we watched the people went in, and we watched all of the excitement outside of the gate. And then when we get hungry, now we go buy a piece of jerk chicken, and then we stand up there and we watch, and we peep over the fence if we can. And we saw everybody came back out. When the event ended, we were at the gate same way. And you know, I was proud of myself, because it's a sacrifice. A lot of people couldn't make a sacrifice. Probably you are watching couldn't make a sacrifice. When they hear the music and when they hear whatever is going on inside, you're going to say, no man, I'm going to spend the $10,000 I'm going there. But I was resolute that what is important to me at the time was the house. And every dollar I get is going to go into that. Whatever event it was that, you know, me no say it I will come back again. And somebody else know event is going to be next month. Well, if you're watching this, yeah, the event is this month. You know, the event is already December now, so the event is this month again. And if I want to, I can go. You know? So go back to the point of making sacrifice. You have to make sacrifice. Once you decide you want to buy a house, it can't be business as usual. So when you decide you're going to get a mortgage, it is important to clean house. Clean up house. Every little loan you have, clear it. Every credit card you have, clear it. Try your best to clean up the house. So when you get the mortgage, it is the only loan you have because it's going to be big. I know that some of you have car loan, some of you have a credit card loan, some want to take out one little loan, and some have school student loan. It is important as part of the process to clear these loans, because it depends on how much you're taking for the mortgage probably you won't be qualified or be approved because of all the loans you have. So start clearing your loans before you apply for the mortgage. Start clearing your loans. Decide in your mind, say, hey, remember say this year I get the house. So every money when I get, me I'll clear that credit card, I go pay off that debt, I go do that, because when the mortgage time come, when I put in my application, I don't want nothing to stop it. And when I start paying mortgage, I don't want no loan. I feel good now because I have no car loan. I have no loan. I don't offer nothing. The only thing I offer is JPS when them give me the bill on time and the mortgage. And that is what I want for you too. I had car note. I had credit card balance. I had stuff. But just like how I was able to make a decision to clear it, you need to make a decision to clear all of that. Anyways, Paul walked me through the mortgage process. I submitted the mortgage, people, and I was so anxious. When I say anxious, I say yes. And I think Jane turnaround time is probably 3 days. 3-4 days. I don't think it passed that. 3-4 days. So when the mortgage getting people, me just sleep for a couple of days. I don't see, because I just want to hear you're approved. And when the day come for me to hear back, I see Paul calling me, and Paul called me and tell me that, the adjudicators, they rejected the mortgage because of the interest rate that was used for the calculation was changed, and that would push me over the threshold. Also, they were concerned whether or not I was able to pay back the mortgage. Remember telling them it's not cheaper Jamaica, And because of that, we have to recalculate. People, I saw the stress come because I got so disappointed. Remember now, remember I told in previous episode. See, I came in the people in place already, which is my place. And I started to build my media wall. I started to put in my speakers. I started to buy furniture. So there was no turning back in my mind. There was no turning back. So the mortgage, I feel approved. So I go to God and I say, God, because me and God walked through the process. My Jesus and we had a very good thing going on in this process. So when Paul told me that he was rejected, we have to go back to the drawing board. We sent some emails confirming the rates and stuff, and that's kind of internal, so that probably might not impact you if you're not an internal stakeholder to Jane. And when Paul calculated my closing costs, the initial, if I was affiliated with Jane, my closing costs would have been probably about 2 million something. Right, but because I was affiliated with Jane, my closing costs came down to about 700,000, 700 something in that region when we first made the first submission of the approval of the mortgage application. So when it was rejected now, Paul and I, Paul again reassured me, and we jump up the evening, and I started to panic. We start call people who are in the organization to say, what can I do? I tried to find out. So Paul said, all right, we're going to correct this, and we're going to resubmit. In Paul's calculation, let me tell you how God worked for me. In Paul's calculation to resubmit, the closing cost jumped from 700 and something thousand to 400 and something thousand. Paul come and say, Roger, look at some miscalculate the closing cost, man. The closing cost gone down. So I say, all right, God, me see what you do. Because closing cost gone down. I say, all right, God, so now I would have approximately $200,000, afloat. So we decide, Paul, what are we going to do? Are we going to request $200,000 less? And I put that amount on the deposit. And, we work it out. And I submitted again. When I submitted again, them reject it again for some other reason. People, the mortgage process is not easy. It's one of the most tedious process because they have to dot every I and cross every T. So when they rejected the mortgage the second time, we did some recalculation again, and the closing costs got down again to think about 300,000 or 200 and something thousand this time. And again, it wasn't easy. Like it stressed me out. Like I couldn't sleep because I just want to get the process. I want to get that part of the process out of the way. And it's so it boils down till, me have to make some calls, me have to call some big shots, me have to do all of that, me have to pull out some strings out of the basket, and eventually it was approved. People, to get the mortgage process easy for you, just clear up your finances and get a loan officer. Yeah, loan officer, person name. Loan officer like Paul. Someone who can reassure you, because I could have given up in that process. So when you are doing this, when you're on this journey, and you feel like there's a stumbling block, don't give up. Don't give up. Find a way to work around it. Because when Paul come back to me and say them reject it because of X, Y, and Mr. Paul, what is the next step? Because it have to fix, it have to approve. Because when Jesus said yes, nobody can say no. I am approved. I keep telling myself I am approved. And when you're in this process, if you rely upon Jesus, you have to stay plugged into the source. I almost plugged to the source. But I plugged to the source and Jesus have to plug me back in. I was in the gym one day and I was down, when they reject the mortgage, I said down, and I was listening to different songs. Matter of fact, let me backtrack. You see, when they reject the loan the first time, Travis Green's song just came in my mind. You made a way. You know that song there? You made a way, and I just started to sing it, and I can hear God's voice saying to me, say, "Me, I work it out, man. What you worry for?" And I played "You Made a Way" right through. I played "You Made a Way" right through, and then when I'm a little bit, want something different, I play "See What the Lord Has Done." Those are the songs I've been playing, and I was in the gym. And I was playing that song, I was playing some other little gospel songs, but it wasn't giving me the energy to work out. So I said, all right, I want something upbeat. And can I be honest? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Church, you know what beat me. Maka Diamond's song Die Die, came. The devil, the devil. Maka Diamond Die Die song came in my thoughts. I'm gonna play Maka Diamond song. So I'm gonna take up the phone, change my gospel song. I can't remember the gospel song I was playing at the time. And I put on Maka Diamond Die Die. So Die Die start play. All of a sudden one of the earpods stop work. I say, sure man, me are in the mood. So I plug it to the ears, plug it back in, it start work again. So I go lift up the weights. As I lift up the weights, it stop work again. So I said, what's wrong with the earpod there? So I went down to my bag for the earpod base, and I take out both of the earpods, plug them in the base, and put them back in my ears. Walk off, Die, start play again. Then now one of the same ear stop working again. So now I start getting frustrated now. So I take back up the earpod case, and I unpaired it from my phone and pair it back. When I start play back again, by the time I walk off and reach down to where I was working out, it stopped play. So now, something said to me, go back and play your gospel. And people, I kid you not. You see, when I put back on my gospel, the two earpods them start work and did not stop working throughout the gym. I think it was a sign, like God was saying, stay plugged in. So on this journey, you might get discouraged. You might feel like, say, it now work out. You might feel like, say, you're not just going to make it. You're not going to own it. They're not going to approve you. But just stay plugged in the source and listen to God's still small voice. Stay plugged in. Stay plugged in. Don't let nobody distract you. And a part of the process, when the mortgage wasn't being approved, I had to curate my space. So I wasn't going to any events. I wasn't going anywhere. I was just staying home, listening to gospel music. I'm in church, come back home. Not till family there see me at one point in time. Because I don't want no distraction. So if you are determined to do this, you have to stay plugged in and you have to curate your space. You don't want the distraction. You don't want no discouragement. That sound word is sound wrong. But you don't want anybody to discourage you. You don't want anybody to discourage you. So the mortgage, when you find a place to get the mortgage process, you know that's it. That's one of the hardest part because you have to satisfy the mortgage institution so to ensure that you can afford the mortgage. Right now I'm going to show you the top mortgage providers in Jamaica and their rates, and I would have picked up this information from the website of the different companies. And so if it is wrong, if anybody from any of the company and is watching it is wrong, you can always just drop in the comment your revised rate. But on the website, as at December 11, the rates are as follows. Jane Bank, I'm gonna put them at the top because they are my preferred entity, and I'm telling you that Jane Bank, they will ensure you get the mortgage, and them matter, they will help you find a way. I'm sure they will help you find a way. So I put Jane Bank at the top, even though they on this sheet as at this date, as at my research is not showing the lowest rate, but I'm gonna put them at the top. Okay. All right, so Jane Bank is coming out at a 9.85%, and they will finance up to 90% of the property. JMB, a rising bank. JMB is really challenging some of these existing banks, and they're giving us a rate of 9.75, and they will finance up to 95% of your house or your apartment. If you go around the place though, you look at some of these developments, you'd have seen JMB sign at the front saying they are financing this project and so forth. Jane Bank does that a lot as well. Following JMB, you have NCB with a 10.25%. NCB, yeah man, up to 100%. They will finance your property. Victoria Mutual, who is still a building society. The day, Jane was a building society. You remember that? Jane Building Society. Yeah, man. Jane Building Society was Jamaica's number one, and still is number one place to go to for mortgage. And Victoria Mutual, who is also a building society, is still standing there under the building society banner. But they are giving us a rate of 10.75. One would believe that, as a building society still, the rate would have been a little bit lower. I'm not sure why their rate on the website, as that December 11 is saying 10.75%. I think that's a little bit high for a building society, but that's just my take. They will finance up to 100% of your purchase. That's good, but what does that look like? 10.75%. Mind you, people, when you are working out mortgage, a 1%, is a lot of money. So you have to consider that. Scotia Bank, on the other hand, always an expensive bank to me. They are coming out with a top. They have a range of 9 point something to 11.49%, and they'll finance up to 95%. So Scotia Bank is up there. I'm not sure why the rate is so high, but if you could just look a little bit close at the rates, they are close. They are hinging close to each other because everybody are trying to compete. They are compete. But again, Jane Bank will help you find a way. But you might be wondering now how to choose a mortgage lender. There are some things to look at when you're choosing your mortgage lender. And as I said before, because I'm affiliated with Jane now, it was easy for me. But for you who are not affiliated with any of these institutions, the first thing you need to look at is the interest rate. The interest rate drives how much you pay back. and that is important. Look at the interest rate, look at the processing fees and other costs. Each of these entities, institutions, they have their own processing fees. They have their own process of doing the mortgage. So they all comes with a different fee. So you need to look at the processing fees across the institution. The turnaround time is important. That's the third one you need to look into. The turnaround time. I know for Jane, it takes up to 3 to 4 days. I think that is the turnaround time after submitting all the relevant documents to get a response. 3 to 4 days, and that's good as a queen. So if you submit their document Monday by Friday, you know what your fate is. So the turnaround time and speed is important. Another thing to look at is the deposit required to start the sale. The deposit is important because the deposit, and I said it before, that the deposit cost and the closing costs are two costs that are really, it can be much. So you have to look for that. The other point when you're selecting your mortgage provider is whether the lender gives a pre-approval letter. More than likely, it's a norm now, because some of these places or these properties, the realtor not talking to you unless you have a pre-approval letter. What the pre-approval letter does is tell you how much you can get. So when you decide you want to get a house, you go to the institution of your choice and say, all right, am I qualified? Am I qualified to get a mortgage? And they'll collect your data, plug it in the system, and then tell you how much you can get. So using that, you can know how to branch off and get the property of your choice. So the pre-approval letter is really a guide because it tells you how much you can get. So no matter waste your time, if your pre-approval say 30 million, if the realtor tell you say 50 million, miss a 30 million, the pre-approval is unless you're gonna add to it. All right, the other point is whether the mortgage processing fee is paid from pocket or is rolled into the mortgage. That's something good to find out, because the mortgage fee sometimes can be much. It can be much when they work out the percentage and all that, can be much. So some institution will roll the mortgage fee into the mortgage, but some you have to pay it up front. So that's something that you need to ask. The other one, you need to look at the amount of finance offered. On the slide before, you'd have seen that some institution offers up to 90%, some offers up to 95%, and some even 100%. So that's important to find out the amount of finance being offered. Another point you should find out when you're choosing your institution to get your mortgage is, when do you start paying back? When you start paying back. I know my cousin bought a house and his institution gave him up to 3 months to start paying. That's good. That is good. So you can get a 2 months, 3 months to kind of bounce back. As I tell you, when you buy the house, everything gone out of your pocket. So it gives you a 2 or 3 months to start paying. I know Jane Bank, and I can speak for them, I don't think they offer that, but all things are possible. Ask. Tell them, say, hey, beg your amount, beg your two. Let's see what can happen. And the final point to look for when you are choosing your institution for your mortgage is the customer service. Woo! This will make you and it will break you. You understand me? So customer service is important, and I'm guaranteeing you, Jane Bank will. You must have sent me a still Jane Bank, but of course they give my mortgage, and I want you to get yours. So Jane Bank customer service is good, but customer service overall is something that you need to look to. How reliable are they? How responsive are they? All of that. Are you comfortable? Do they make you feel confident that you can own the property? So that all of that would fall under customer service, and that will help you to make. So let me inject right here that finding the money to purchase that property that you'd have identified that and you would have loved, it can be something that can really let you feel like, say, you're stressed out. But all things are possible, and I must let you know that NHT every year, January, many of us would go to NH, go online and would request a refund from NHT. Yeah, man, we know you do it. Every year I do it. And people believe that if they take their refund, it will affect, how much money them get from NHT and all of that. I'm clearing that myth. It does not affect how much money you get from NHT. Your refund is yours. You're entitled to it. Apply for your refund at your time, whether or not you're considering, and like how you're watching this, you're going to get your own home. Apply for your refund. It doesn't matter. But what is interesting, and you should take note, is that NHT has a facility where they can give you up to 5 years of your NHT refund as a loan to you. I mean, they're giving you back your money in advance. Let's put it that way, because when you hear loan, it sounds like you're going to pay it back. But what NHT does, give you up to 5 years of your refund that can go towards your opening cost or to your closing cost or to your lawyer fees, if you're using lawyer. So yes, if you're buying your house, go over to NHT and apply for this facility. Whatever it is that you're going to get a year time, they're going to give you 5 years advance of that, so you can use it to your closing costs. So tada! If you've been through an NHT over the past years, just say, all right, NHT, I'm only money them can give me towards my opening cost, my deposit, or towards my closing fees or fees to your lawyer. So yeah, I did applied for that, and I got a nice little change from NHT, and I was able to use that to offset some of the costs. So you can get that too. So when you figure it out and you plan how much money you need and how much money, where you get it from, just know the NHT have some put up for you. Apply for it. I'm not telling you that it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be worthwhile. Because when when they reject the mortgage the first time and they reject it the second time, like I never feel like giving up, but I know that God was with me. And I think it was last week I said to you that a playlist, there are some songs that really brought me through. And one of the songs, when the mortgage that got rejected the first time, was "You Made a Way." I said that last week. You made a way. But another song that stood out for me when it feels like when the road get rocky, and it was "Too Faithful" by Moses Bliss. And part of the song says, You're too loving to leave me. You're too loving to leave me halfway. What you start, you always finish. I've come to realize you're too loving to leave me. Like I play these songs over and over, because I know that he who begin a good work in me must take it to completion. And when you start this journey of buying your own home, the same God will make you find a place. The same God in week 1 who make you come up with the idea, say yes, you want to own your own home. The same God who in week 2 allow you to find your own place and find the place that you like. Is the same God when you come on to the finances. He's too faithful to leave us. What he started, he must finish. But sometimes we don't wait. Sometimes we doubt, to let doubt creep in and just, cloud everything. But Moses Bliss, it says, you are too faithful to fail me. You are who you are yesterday, today. What you say is what you do. And he will never fall short on his word. So when it got rocky for me, I tell you, after drawing these songs, and I'm just giving you what works for me. And I know it will work for you. You have to keep putting in your mind the positive things. When it look like it's getting dark, when it's getting, like it's not working out, what do you feed yourself with? Them song here, me rinse it. There's also another song that I also rinse, and it is So You Would Know by Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. Woo! So you would know how much I love you. Didn't I wake you up this morning? Like that song is a powerful song. And I tell you, whatever you're going through, so whatever you're going through, I tell you that these are songs, that you draw on. How many times must I prove how much I love you? I say when you look like say it now work out, when you look like say, the people give me a fight to get the mortgage. I play the song and it says, how many times must I prove how much I love you? How many ways must my love for you I show? How many times must I rescue you from trouble for you to know just how much, how much, how much, how much I love you? And I tell you, when I play those songs when I'm going through the financial hurdles, I tell you, man, it lit my spirit. It said, go. It said, go on, because God is there with you. So, you're going to face these, but it is possible. 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 All right, people. So there you have it for this week. Next week, I hope you're making your notes. Make sure you make your notes and put in the comments what you learned this week. What stood out for you most this week in this episode. Put it in the comments, so I know that you are staying with me and you are watching. Next week is going to be interesting because after your mortgage approved, now it's time to move in. And I'm gonna talk to one of my friend who is she owns a business that sells household stuff. So we're gonna talk about decorating a space to make a space look nice. I'm showing you pieces of where I'm at. I'm sure you. I said, Jesus, in background nice. No man, that look nice. Because behind me, she was seeing. That's my big portrait that I got as a gift, and behind me is games like I stock games. Each time I try to buy games. So next week we're gonna tell you where to find all of the nice things, then how to color code your place, what is perfect, what is not perfect, what is good, what is not good, all of that. So next week we're gonna talk about decorating your space and make your space look lovely, because you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on your house and stress out with the process and all of that, and then you can't be comfortable and look good. When I walk into my space, I feel good because of all of the good things them. So you can have them too, and I'm going to tell you where you can get all of the nice things them to buy. So until next week, please remember, share this with somebody now. Share this with somebody, and I'm waiting to hear your stories of you going out and trying to find somewhere. Are you approaching a mortgage institution, the JN Bank, and all of that? I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your report, So until next week, please share this with somebody and come back next week and let's talk about how we can decorate the space. See you.